Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer, thank you so much for being here. Let me see who was here first. Fancy. Thank you so much. Fancy, you being here first. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna put this here. Yeah. And definitely gonna need that for my sound bites. So, all right. Well, I'll just say hi to everybody as I go along. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, I can do that. And all right. So there we go. Now that should work. Oh, you guys, I cannot wait until this weirdness is over with these slides. It has been a workaround. I'm not going to say headache, but it's been interesting. Okay. Now, it is the eve of the election. It is election eve. And I think everybody is on the edge of their seats. If you're not, then you probably need to check your pulse. Yeah, you probably need to check your pulse because this is going to be a real nail biter. Okay, so let me, anyway, corruption. See what I did there? Corruption. I tell you, I don't know where I get these from. It's I look at it long enough and it just comes to me. Okay. So anyway, let's get on with it. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you yesterday. And I didn't get the opportunity to do it because it didn't seem as though it was in the right place. Okay. But I'm going to do it now. All right. So this young lady, oh my goodness, what is her name? Let me see here. She's on the TikTok. And well, anyway, I'll get her name for you in just a moment. But if you watched, hi, wait a minute. How did she say it? Hi, guys. Claire here. Oh, my goodness. I think I'm losing it. Hey, guys. Claire here. Oh, my God. I'm losing it. Am I saying it right? Hey, guys. Claire here. Oh, my goodness. I have lost my Claire here. My Claire Kane. I have lost my Claire Kane. I think I have lost my mojo. Oh, my goodness. That's okay. I can get it back. I will get it back. Am I saying it right? Okay, anyway, I'm driving myself crazy with that. Hey guys, Claire here. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so anyway, hey guys, Claire here. All right. Try again. Okay. Hey guys, Claire here. No, I'm going to have to go and listen to her to make sure I get it right. But anyway, let's get on with it. You don't know how very important that is to me that I get that right. It is like one of my favorite things. Where is she? There we go.
Meghan Markle is the spiritual successor to Princess Diana, but it was supposed to be Kate, and that's why white women in the UK hate her. That's why they ran with the Commoner Kate storyline for so long, because they were trying to mirror a happy version of Charles and Diana. But the reality is, Will and Kate are just Charles and Camilla if he would have just married Camilla first. The public was promised Princess Diana Part 2, but Kate doesn't have that soft touch that Diana had. Meghan does, and whether that's who she really is or she's just that good of an actress, it comes across as authentically her. So, for a lot of white female royalists in the UK, it's really hard to play people's princess by proxy, but the people's princess doesn't look like you. And they get very upset about that. And something else a lot of these women don't like to acknowledge is that because Harry is Diana's hope, because he is the one who is actually out here breaking the fucking generational curses, and that family has a lot, because he is the one who is continuing his mother's work and his mother's legacy. When he stands up and says, these people are not good people, this institution is not a good institution, these women block their ears because it wrecks the fantasy that they could one day be queen.
Okay. So,
Meghan Markle is the spiritual successor to Princess Diana.
Oh, all right. So her name is Sedona. What is that? Violet? Sedona Violet. That's her name, Sedona Violet. I don't know if you could see it, but I love her. That was perfect. That was right on the money. All right, let's go with the next one. So I just wanted to share that with you, but I thought that was beautiful. Very well put. Hey, Legs, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Legs, Claire. No, I still cannot get it. All right. So, what is one of Oprah's favorite things? Well, according to the news that's trending, Oprah's favorite things, there's, I think, hundreds of items. But as you can see here, Meghan Markle gifted Oprah this Thatcha body care set. In case you missed it, Oprah's favorite things of 2024 dropped last week. This year's list is chock full of luxury gifts, ideas, hot ticket items at under $50, the cutest presents for the cutest kids on your list, and even some beauty products that appear to have been recommended by none other than Meghan Markle. That's right, the Duchess of Sussex. Yes, Oprah's included the skincare trio on her annual favorites things list. So, where is it? There it is right there. It's called Thatcher Hinoki Body Care. And look at that. The trio is valued at $146, but right now you can get it at 20% off on Amazon. That's what it says. Now, don't quote me on that because I don't know if that is still the available price, but they say if you go to Amazon right now, you can get it at 20% off. The gift suggestion that in question is Thatcher skincare set made up of Hinoki body wash, Hinoki body milk, and Hinoki body oil. Infused with Hinoki, a Japanese cypress plant, the trio of products are formulated to gently cleanse and exfoliate, nourish, and lock in hydration for soft, smooth, refined skin. This is a favorite thing with the scent of forest scent. Oh, with the scent of forest scent. That looks strange, doesn't it? The scent of forest scent. It almost seems like Kate wrote that. Is it the scent of forest scent? Why does that look like Kate wrote that? Huh? Why does it look like Kate wrote that? That looks like one of Kate's gaffes. Is that the scent of fluorescent? Can you taste the taste by smelling it? Is that the scent of forest scent? Ooh. uh, doesn't it sound like something she wrote? Is that the scent of forest scent? Anyway, happy belated birthday to you, Baron. I wish you many blessings. Well, thank you, TMCD, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and 19 months of membership. Um, oh, okay. Um, I'm getting as bad as the tabloids working Kate into everything, ain't I? I'm getting about bad as the tabloids. Looking for every opportunity to work Kate into something as if she deserves that. Anyway, let me get back up here. Oh, wait. Oh, boy. Now I can do no. Okay. All right. Move this up here. Yes, there we go. There we go. I'm getting used to this new screen. All right. Thank you so much, TMCD. All right. And well, anyway, you know where to find it. And I'm sure it's very nice. Now, let's just remember in the mix of dispatches, royal family, that Prince Harry donated 1.5 million of his spare memoir proceeds to the Centabale charity. The Duchess of Sussex cookbook sells 130,000 copies to make 557,638 pounds for Grenfell Community Kitchen. Who are the grifters? Well, as you know, it's kind of hard not to notice that over time, there's been a lot of accusations made about the Sussexes and their foundation coming from the Derangers, right? When all along, if you have been paying attention to the past couple of days, you'll notice that, well, you don't even have to have just noticed the past couple of days. This has been abundantly clear for a long time that the royal family seem to be a bunch of grifters, right? It's not Harry and Meghan, it is the rest of that clan. Oops, I've done it again. Why do I keep calling them a clan? It's the firm, not the clan. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you, of course, for watching Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. All righty. Thank you so much. And by the way, Connie Balmer, I told you that I've been showing off my souvenirs to my family when they came over. And I spent some quality time with my family today. Can you believe it? Yes, I was on my best behavior too. I won't even tell you how I spent my afternoon, but it's one of those situations I'm like, am I really here? Is this really my life? Yeah, I guess it is. uh, okay. Thank you again, Connie Balmer. And so, yeah, let's just remember that the Sussexes have been incredibly generous with their fortune, all of their hard earned money at that, too. Sussex Newhouse says the original. Um, okay, not only did Prince Harry donate, Prince Harry donate to Centabale. In total, he gave away 1.6 million pounds of spare proceeds and 1.3 million to Centabale, based in Lesotho and Botswana. And he also donated 300,000 pounds of that money to Well Child in the UK. Royals don't do stuff like that. They usually take. And yet the Sussexes give so much, not just their time, but they give a lot of money, right? They do, but when they are involved in any project, they don't do anything by half. They can quote word for word the whole purpose, the mission statement of just about any foundation or charity that they're working with. They do their homework. And it is that attention to detail that caused a great deal of heartache for the very lazy staff at the Kensington Palace. They were not used to that type of work. They were not used to that. And I will never, ever be embarrassed by the work ethic that I inherited from my parents. I will never be embarrassed by that. And if it makes other people uncomfortable, oh well. But that is the way I have always been. That's the way I've always been. And it is nothing to be embarrassed about. And after the situation with Meghan and the Kensington crew, I would see them on television making all these comments and remarks about her work ethic and the Americanisms. And there was a lot of hostility, mostly rooted in race, but it was very anti-American. And I'm sorry, but I was offended by that. Very offended. Anyway, let's move on. Uh Omid Scobie. Omid Scobie says it's been 2 days since the Channel 4 dispatches and the Times investigative team reported that King Charles and Prince William are secretly making millions from the NHS, armed forces, and the UK charities, and not one member of the Royal Rota has published proper follow up coverage. Yeah, not one member, not the Rebecca Englishes, not the Robert Jobsons, huh? Not the Russell Myers, none of those people. Where is the Royal Rota? Where's the Royal Rota? Where is Roy Anika? Where's anybody? They will not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Omid goes on to say this group of royal editors are responsible for the royal coverage in Britain's newspapers. And while further reporting on a story of this magnitude is in the public interest, it's not in theirs. To them, the palace needs will always be more important than yours. He said what he said. The palace needs will always be more important than yours. Oh, thank you so much, Deborah Anderson, for the super sticker. And thank you for being here tonight. And of course, for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, let me see. I can go to the next slide. There we are. And this person, who I preferred to keep anonymous, says, where is Richard Palmer? Yes, there's another royal Rota. Where's Richard Palmer, who only a few weeks ago was fighting with people on Twitter who rightfully pointed out that the Royal Rota were simply stenographers for the palace? Where are the hyperbolic articles from Rebecca English, Roy Anika, Chris Ship with a P, not a T? They have all been, is that supposed to be neutered? I'm thinking it should be neutered, right? They have all been nurtured. I think it should be neutered. Is that the right spelling for neuter? Anyway, I think they mean neutered. All right. And then, of course, the next person says they're not journalists. The royal reporters are corrupt royal family propagandists, mouthpieces who do briefings, planting stories and spreading lies on behalf of the palace. Still waiting for their spinning WhatsApp messages to defend Prince William and King Charles III's looting. That's right, you guys. You know what? I didn't think about that. But it has been mentioned before that the Royal Rota are likely keeping informed via WhatsApp or Snapchat. But yeah, they do have a hotline that goes directly to their electronic devices. Like for instance, Robert Jobson's, he gets his messages through his CPAP. Meghan and Harry. Yeah, Robert Jobson gets his updates through his CPAP, but the yeah. Anyway, they have various ways that they get their updates. Um. Okay, you know what? That's even low for me. I'm not even going to say that next one. Let me just move on before I get in trouble. It was about where Rebecca English gets her messages from, but I'm going to take the high road for a change. And of course, Denise Welch, who has been a longtime supporter of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, says somehow it'll be Meghan's fault, though. And, usually they try to find some way to assign blame to Harry and Meghan, and in particular, leaning toward Meghan's culpability. Let's see. And of course, she was actually replying to the Carol Vorderman. Let me see. Shocking Sunday. Da, da, da. Okay. Yeah. Rent to. Okay. Yeah. So that's what she was sharing when she wrote that. I like Denise Welch. Uh, Joan Garcia, 34 months membership. Hi, Baron. Still riding with you for almost 3 years. Sorry I missed your birthday. I want to discuss a special gift I want to give you. By the way, I hope I can sleep tonight from thinking of the election. I know this is election eve, and I'm thinking tomorrow I need to get everything I need so that I can sit in front of the television. It's going to be a late night tonight, or maybe not, because if it is the possible landslide that everybody hopes that it is, then it won't be such a late night. If things are, by the time things get to California, when California precincts come in, we should know something if it's a true landslide. And there is so much evidence that that is a possibility. But let's not put the cart before the queen consort. Okay? Let's not put the cart before the queen consort. See what I did there? Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all week, folks. Again, thank you, Joan Garcia, for 34 months membership. Incredible. Greatly appreciate it. All right. And I was thinking that instead of playing God Save the King when they introduce Camilla, if she's not with Charles, instead of playing God Save the King, wasn't there a song for a beer commercial? The one where they had those Clydesdales pulling those the kegs of beer from the land of sky blue water. Da 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 da. Comes the beer that was that the right company? Was it Budweiser? Yeah, maybe they should play that song for her. Yeah, I think they should play that song that they play when they're pulling all that beer. Oh, it was Budweiser. Yeah. From the land of sky blue water. Let me see. Budweiser beer commercial. Budweiser beer commercial. Now let me see. Show me some Clydesdales. Or show me some queen consorts. uh yeah, show me some consorts from the land of sky blue water. How do I remember that song? Yes, there we go. It has been, oh, it's Ham's beer, no? Or it is Budweiser. Anyway, Budweiser brings back the Clydesdales. Yeah, it was. Well, anyway, let us get on with it, shall we? Oh, me too. Me too. We need that. It just needs to be very decisive so that well, what we need is a very decisive popular vote as well as a landslide with the Electoral College. That way, the people closest to that monster will encourage him, drop it, right? That way, some of those people that have embedded themselves across the country that intend to wreak havoc on election day, and that does unfortunately include election officials. When people cast their votes, I wish that more people who plan to vote for the wrong person would consider the fact that time and time again, the losing candidate has conceded the election in a timely manner so that way people could go to bed at night knowing who the president elect is, right? The one time when we did not know in modern times, I mean, in the television age, the one time when we could not tell you who the next president was because of George Bush Jr., the younger Bush. Another one of those Republican stolen elections, and they did steal that election. It's always the Republicans that are stealing the elections. The Democrats haven't stolen an election since 1960. Wait, did I say that out loud? And even then, Richard Nixon was kind enough to concede the election for the sake of the American people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, yes, Cook County, Richard Daley has been accused of things, but that was 1960. But it's never happened. Well, anyway, let me stop. As they say in Chicago, vote early, vote often, vote often, vote early. All right. Next, there they are, hook and crook. There they are, hook and crook. The 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 um the what do you call it? The feudal fiefdoms themselves. Charles actually makes money from windmills. Did you guys know that? Those windmills that are out there on the seabed, because the seabed is considered a property, the domain of the sovereign, not the state, but the sovereign. Charles actually receives a cut of the money from sustainable energy. If Charles was serious about the environment, why would you stick your hand out and accept that money? There are so many things that are for the greater public interest that is a profitable venture for the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall. David Cameron really done Queen Elizabeth a solid. Not only do they get an increase in the sovereign grant every year, but they cannot lose money. If there is ever a time when there's not as much money coming into the sovereign grant, then the state, the subjects, the British tax-paying subjects of His Majesty Charles III must subsidize the shortfall. The people have to subsidize any shortcomings, any loss of money to the crown estate. The people, that is extraordinary. That was extraordinary. And who signed that into law? Queen Elizabeth. A lot of people have known about some of these things, but to hear it repeated out loud and on a global stage changes everything. Well, Rebecca English, the gatekeeper. Rebecca English has been working as the gatekeeper for quite some time. What do you know? A sadder side of Blackpool, Prince William vows to take a stand against slum landlords as he and Kate are left deeply affected on visit to one of Britain's most deprived streets. Now, as Archie Bunker would say, isn't that the black calling the pot kettle? Isn't that the black calling the pot kettle? Hazel says David Cameron is royal adjacent. He's a descendant of William IV in the female line. He looks like him too. Oh my goodness. I had no idea. I mean, I knew he was one of those, Eden public school boys, but I had no idea that he was that closely adjacent to the royal family. Seems like a massive conflict of interest. But if I didn't say it this morning, I said it yesterday or this afternoon. But what you all have to bear in mind is that a lot of those people, a lot of those high ranking people in government, a lot of those high ranking people in the parliament, in the House of Lords and such, their ancestry goes back centuries. They could trace their ancestors back a long way. And a lot of them, their families, have been quite loyal to the crown. And there is just no way that they're ever going to forsake them for the common working class people of Britain, for the subjects of the king. There's no place where that's going to happen. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you very much for that. Scandal of Prince William's moldy, hard to heat royal rentals that don't meet standards. Our investigation with Channel 4 dispatches has found that some of Prince William's tenants are at risk of fuel poverty and living in hard to heat homes with mold and damp issues. The thing is, in the United States, there is funding available for people to insulate their homes. There are all kind of programs and such that have come down the pike so that you can get the greatest energy efficiency possible. Now, it's not available to everybody all of the time, but I'm sorry about that. But I'll get that out the way. But when those programs are available, you best believe a lot of people take advantage of it. Imagine being able to replace all of your windows with a government grant, especially if you live in historic housing, to encourage people to maintain housing that is, shall we say, listed as they would in the UK, or that it is in a historic district. There are grants that are available that will help you maintain those properties. I'm sure there's some equivalent to that in the United Kingdom. It's for everyone's benefit because the less demand there is for fossil fuels, the less money that we all pay to heat our homes. It's just that simple. You would think that the royal family, or should I say that the Duke of Lancaster, the king, the Duke of Cornwall, Prince William, you would think that their properties would be the gold standard for energy efficiency. But instead, mold, dampness, draft, high energy costs. That is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And I hope this is the embarrassment that they need to tighten up the ship. I really do. I hope something good comes out of this for the consumer, for the working class people. Hey, Vaughn, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not for me, is it? Sorry about that. Okay, let's continue. So take a look there. Breaking news. This is from the 2nd of November. Prince William is a slum landlord while he goes about his fake homeless PR about everyone having the right to a safe and stable home. His own tenants live in subhuman conditions. Here are just a few pics. That is a scandal. That is a scandal. I'm sure we all saw this the other day. I just had to look at them again. I had to look at it again. I couldn't believe it. Now, brother um, James O'Brien, I call him Brother James. Let's hear what James O'Brien has to say about all of this. Love James O'Brien. Love him. Okay, James.
This is so obviously egregious that you almost can't go there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me put that over here. This sounds better, I think. Oh, you can hear him getting all worked up, can't you? Get him, Jim.
This is so obviously egregious that you almost can't go there. This is an inequality.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did that.
So baked into our society. This is so obviously egregious that you almost can't go there. This is an inequality so baked into our society that you can't quite imagine anything ever being different. Do you see what I mean? It's as if you're being presented with something so utterly hideous. Institutions that we support by paying tax and making donations. The king and his son are milking on an annual basis in return for an ancient privilege stolen during medieval times. I think this is one of the grimmest things I've ever read about my country. In the context of no laws being broken, something that's happening in plain sight all of the time. I can't quite believe that I'm reading about these sums of money being trousered for essentially just owning stuff. They are absolutely taking the mickey. This is completely indefensible. This is so obviously egregious.
Okay, that was one. Let me get the other one for you. Love this
That
one.
you
This
almost
is a
can't-
doozy. Let me get the other one for you.
To say.
James, hello there.
Hello, Hugh.
I've been looking forward to this.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. So, James, you may remember I'm a veteran, and
Yes.
for the past 14 years I've been supporting veterans and helping them. And actually, today, of course, is the first day of the week of remembrance. So it's a really important week for our military and veterans and their families. And we all know that successive governments have let them down and failed them. But one area in particular that really makes my blood boil is the whole issue of homelessness.
Yes.
I believe there are nearly 2,500 homeless veterans as we speak around the UK. And thankfully, of course, we now have a senior member of the royal family who's the self-appointed head of homelessness, or certainly the fight against homelessness.
Is it in, I mean, can we not hold those two things at the same time? Is it absurd for somebody in possession of what he's in possession of to cast himself as a antidote to homelessness? I think it probably is, but I'd quite like it not to be.
No, what riles me, I'm afraid, is what I'm going to say next, is that the highest demographic for homeless veterans in this country is in which county, do you think?
Well, I'm going to say Cornwall because I'm good at quizzes.
Correct answer.
Is it really? How do you know that? Are you
Correct.
sure? Because I haven't checked it.
I'm absolutely 110% sure. And last year I went down to just outside Penzance to try and support one of my former soldiers who runs a veterans retreat called Noon Craig. And they looked after veterans by taking them, back in amongst one another, back out to nature. And all being supported by, charities, good people of the UK, etc. And that very same retreat got thrown off their land and became homeless themselves. And, we wrote to the Duchy of Cornwall.
So there you go. The Duchy of Cornwall has the greatest amount of homeless veterans. And who is the Duke of Cornwall? Prince William. Prince William, the man who has vowed to end homelessness, the man who has shed a light on art exhibits that have shed light on homelessness. Yes, one of the ways to eliminate homelessness is for everyone to go to an art gallery and to look at cardboard signs and street lamps, cardboard beds and boxes and such. All kind of like it's an eclectic blend of items from the street, and it's probably some of the weirdest things you've ever seen on exhibit, in order to bring attention to the homeless. I think the wise thing to do is to give a home to the homeless, right? How much more productive and secure and stable would the working class people be if they had decent, affordable housing rather than having to surf somebody's couch or sleep in a shed or sleep in their vehicle or whatever? How much better off would society be? And yet William, who has is it 5,400 leases of property between father and son, or is it William who has that amount alone? I can't recall which is which. Numbers have been flying for days, and I'm getting very confused. But one thing I'm not confused about, they have been profiting hugely from their duchies. And it seems to be a lack of transparency and a lack of accountability. I'm glad they're being called out. I'm so glad. There is one article by the Daily Mail, but not published on the royal page. One of the squaddies pointed out that the Daily Mail has mentioned the woes of Charles and William, but they won't put it on the royal page. It's just one article, and that's it. And of course, it was not the top of the headline. It wasn't the big blaring headlines. It was something that was kind of buried in the usual feed. Yeah, it was not showcased in any way whatsoever. You know, like, where is Meghan Markle in the big white letters with the black background? Nothing of the sort. They're kind of hiding this amongst all the other stuff that garbage that they've run today. And that's it. They don't want you to notice it. Now, this guy right here, I had to make some adjustments in order to share this with you. Let me just say for the record, I hope I have not missed anything. I'm almost afraid, but here goes.
King Charles III, Prince of Wales William, who the do you think you are? So 1 week ago, we've had William all over the TV talking about ending homelessness, or let's all work together to defeat homelessness. This week, we find out he's charging charities, the NHS, the Ministry of Defence, schools, councils, rent, and making millions of pounds. Fucking hell, it's not the 1400s. What the Because the way these duchies are set up, they don't pay corporation tax. They make millions of pounds worth of profit and pay zero tax on it. Excuse me, where the fuck is Robin Hood when you need him? Like, it's one thing if you were charging businesses, but charging other government departments, schools, councils, the NHS to park ambulances in a warehouse when they're not in use. Where are your morals gone? Your morals have receded like your fucking hairline, William. I mean, seriously, take the money, go to Turkey, get that sorted out. If you're going to, like, you know, live the life of a mafia gangster, at least have the looks to go with it. Do you know what I mean? And yet we spent years attacking Harry and Meghan for earning their money privately. Like, fucking hypocrites. Honestly, enough's enough. That's it. Not my king. Fucking get rid of all of them.
Well, somebody's got a potty mouth, huh? Somebody's got a potty mouth. Anyway, if you would like to see more of his material, just go over to the TikTok. And that way you can hear all of the parts that I removed for the, reasons that it was necessary, like monetization. I like him. He's fun. Oh, man. He said a lot, didn't he? All right. Moving on. So, spot the difference, says Zandy Sussex. Can you spot the difference? Yeah, I can. There is quite a difference. Charles and Camilla in a golden state coach compared to the king and queen of Spain being pelted with debris, splattered with mud. They have been cussed and everything else. They have also met some of the first responders. And of course, there are a lot of people who were glad to see them. There were some that were very angry, but they embraced, they consoled so many people that have suffered the hardship of these horrendous floods. So, yes, there is a big difference. Jennifer Clark, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. Meanwhile, I still am trying to figure out who does Charles and William think they are? What in the did they think they were doing? Oh man, that guy was funny. Hell yeah. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, William, who seems to be a little bit too big for his britches, has gone off to South Africa. And he was hoping that he was going to get this statesman state visit like reception from the president of South Africa. Well, that's not exactly how it's going to go. They have dressed Willie down a bit. You see there? While the royal rotas are busy lying to the gullible ones of how William is going to continue a state conversation regarding policy with South Africa's president, the president just shared, what is that? Shared them. It's a courtesy call. In other words, a photo op situation. So you see there? Now, officially, South African government says President Cyril Ramaphosa will tomorrow, the 5th of November, 2024, receive a courtesy call from the Prince of Wales of the United Kingdom and Great Britain, Northern Ireland, at, what is that, Grenadindle official residence of the president of in the residence of the president in Cape Town. Okay, that's a mouthful. But yeah, so it is a courtesy call. It is not a state visit. They are not going to discuss the affairs of state. No matter what Rebecca English or anybody else tries to say, this is not going to be a state anything. It's a courtesy call, a photo op, a handshake, right? That's it. Unless William is bringing one of those shopping bags from Folsom and Mason. If he has a Folsom and Mason shopping bag, you know, that I looked out the window and I saw Willie arrived. He cut a look at me and examined my eyes. Yeah. Louis Armstrong, aka yeah, they're gonna meet tomorrow. So anyway, let's go to the next one. I asked him, did you bring a bag of cash? Oh yeah. Sorry, Willie, you can't afford him. Now, statesman Prince William is key to South Africa trip. UK says, but South Africa treats it as a photo op. You see there? They're saying statesman Prince William. Once again, if you have to say statesman, you're probably not. If you have to say statesman, you're probably not. Nobody has to call Harry a statesman. He just is. Zandy says, ouch, Prince William issues a statement calling himself a global statesman, but South Africa begs to differ and calls it a standard courtesy call. Desperate times. Well, it kind of reminds me of that visit when William went to Boston and they begged and pleaded the White House, will you please meet with William? Well, President Biden had business in the area. And so, yes, I will take time to shake his hand. And that's exactly what happened. He gave William the photo op that he desperately wanted. Okay. And what is this? King Charles Diversity Czar, who was brought in after Harry and Meghan's race row, quits. She was by the king's side throughout his visit to Rwanda 2 years ago, but was not, I repeat, not in Samoa or Australia. Seemed like she was serving her notice. King Charles Diversity Czar, who was brought in after the Harry and Meghan. So Eva Amagami, who was King's most senior Black aide, was appointed to a newly created role of Director of Community Engagement. Now, she was the one who was supposed to help them, how do I put it, straighten out the errors of their way, right? To point out the errors of their way in order to give them a little window dressing and to make it look as though they were actually trying to resolve the issue of the lack of diversity, right? But essentially, it was just for show. I don't think she had a clearly defined position with the palace. And so she didn't last. But at least she did receive one of those honors. Lisette Zog, thank you so much for the super chat. Birthday blessings to brilliant baby boomer Baron from Austria. Thank you so much, Dunkashane. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. And thank you for the constant support and being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you very much. All right, I'm losing my voice. There we go. I need to get my humidifier going. Isn't that what I did last year? I was like, oh, I got to get my humidifier. It was like February and I still hadn't set it up yet. There we go. So she had worked for the royal household for 13 years before picking up the job at the height of the royal family race row. Her job was said to be to help take forward their Royal Highnesses work with minority groups in the UK, Commonwealth, and globally. So was she supposed to replace Harry and Meghan with the Commonwealth? She was at the king's side throughout his visit to Rwanda 2 years ago, but was not in Samoa or Australia. It is understood she resigned her post last month for a job in the private sector, with insiders sorry to see her go. It comes after a string of race row rocked Buckingham Palace over the past few years. Just weeks before her appointment, Meghan and Harry claimed in their shock Oprah Winfrey interview, well, anyway, we know all that stuff. Days after the TV bombshell, William told reporters, "We are very much not a racist family," but US-based Prince Harry also blasted unconscious bias with the royal family. Although the Duke performed a remarkable U-turn in an interview promoting his memoir Spare, claiming that he had not called the royals racist. Well, he did not say racist. I mean, technically, he did not. He said they were preoccupied with the baby's skin color. It was the tabloids that said it was racist. But be that as it may, they have been exposed. And thanks to Omid Scobie, who kind of tied everything up in a nice little bow. Listen, you guys, I cannot tell you how proud I am of Omid Scobie. I am proud of him. It took a lot of courage for him to write that book. And you know he held back. There was so much more he could have said. But every time I think about Endgame, I get so tickled. I get so tickled. It nearly pushed Kate over the edge. Charles, he doesn't have enough sense to be concerned. But Kate seemed to wither on the vine ever since that book came out. She was already looking bad. But when that book came out, and then it was mentioned that she and Charles were the racists in the family, that was my best day since Christmas. It was my best day since, honestly, it was my best day since Christmas. Sometimes you have to wait a whole year to have a day like that. So, yes, Bunny Rose says Kate mask slipped. Yeah, I did. Her mask slipped, and everybody was able to see her for who and what she really is. You see, it wasn't so much what was in the book as much as the conversation that revolved around the book. It gave people a chance to expose that family, that institution. Every time something like that happens, just like Spare, it wasn't exactly what was in the book as much as it was a way to corroborate all of the things that was said before. You understand what I'm saying? The book is important. Don't get me wrong. Both books are very important. But we had receipts, right? Um, Also, the greater public was asking questions, and some American journalists were asking questions. Every time I would see those racist headlines flashing across the television screen from some report about that family, that was definitely a victory. So, partly it's the books. The other part is the questions that revolved around the books, the conversations that revolved around those books. That's what really changed things. Not that they're not as awful as they've always been, but they have been exposed. And it's impossible to put the genie back in the bottle. It's impossible. So just because they find a group of Black kids at this event or that event, yeah, well, kids are going to be polite, but we know who they are. We know who and what they are because they have been exposed. They have not had a moment's peace since Endgame. And even before that, with the Oprah Winfrey interview, with Spare, they have not had a moment's peace. And they trip over themselves trying to prove we are very much not a racist family. Yeah, you are. And now everybody knows it. Yeah, you are. Now everybody knows it. Oh, well, it's the gift that keeps giving. I say, bring it on. Now, we're going to close out with a little politics. It is election eve. Um, if you didn't see this, then you have to. I can't share it with you, but Saturday Night Live had an amazing segment with Maya Rudolph and, of course, Kamala Harris, and uh, it was epic. It was just epic. It was so good. So if you haven't seen it, you should. I loved it. I've watched it I don't know how many times. Now, the sexiest man alive back in 2022, yes, Chris Evans, the sexiest man alive. Listen, when a guy has eyes like that, it's better just to believe what they're saying, right? Trust them and their opinion. And his opinion is keep America Trumpless. Yes, that wall of hair and those deep blue eyes are saying, vote for Vice President Harris. That's right. He's endorsed the vice president for the top job. So if Captain America says to vote for the vice president, you have your marching orders. Listen to the captain. Vote for Kamala Harris, not the orange menace. Let's end this nightmare. After tomorrow, we may never have to concern ourselves with him again, and it cannot come fast enough. And so I pray, please let it be over. Let it be over tomorrow. After tomorrow, we can watch his mouth move and not really understand or hear anything he has to say because it just won't be important. So do not rest on your laurels. If you're registered to vote and you have not voted, go out there and vote for the right candidate so that we can rest our shoulders, so that we can sleep better at night. All right? All right. John Lewis, Congressman Lewis, passed away. What was it? Last year? Was it last year? Anyway, John Lewis, civil rights advocate, activist. He's, I think he marched across the bridge. Was it Selma, where he marched across the Pettus Bridge? Well, anyway, I do recall seeing the black and white footage of him being injured when he was knocked unconscious by the police. He took a severe, no, I don't think he went unconscious, but he did take a big blow to the head, all for the sake of civil rights. So that's right. Thank you, TMCD. Get in good trouble. That was John Lewis's mantra. Get in good trouble. He says, I hope you're getting in good trouble today. That means you really have to shake up the system. You have to rattle their cage. Get in good trouble. So anyway, there was an illustration I found today. I love this. And it's John Lewis as a bridge, bridging the gap to help people vote. He has literally used his own body to help people get to the polling place. He has been that bridge for a lot of people. So I thought that was very cool. And with that, you guys, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Oh, yeah, here's some photos right here. Congressman John Lewis, back in the 60s, right? 1962, he was arrested. In Nashville, he got arrested. And that was not the last time he was arrested, I believe. But yeah, he was a powerhouse. Passed away from cancer some years ago. Well, not that long ago, but yeah, Miss John Lewis. All right. Woman dressed as handmaids vote in Asheville, North Carolina. How to bring your political message while wearing no political message. Genius. Genius. She went as a handsmaid. Hey, I haven't seen the movie either. I'm not sure what the reference is, but I know it has something to do with women not having control of their own lives or body or whatever. So there you go. All righty. That's it. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Pray for the vice president. Pray for the United States of America. Pray for a brighter future is what we deserve. We're not going back. We cannot go back. We have to keep moving forward, but we cannot go back. It'd be a real shame if that happened. So vote, vote, vote. Pray. Oh, it's the 2025. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to have to try to watch that then. All right. Thank you guys for making this a fantastic birthday. Let me see. I want to show you the surprise I got today. Now, let me see. Mhm. Okay. So remember, I told you my sister found this lamp at the thrift store for $4. It's a European lamp. It takes some weird light bulb. And as you can see, I had to put one of those US adapters on there just to make it work, right? Well, I was like, okay, that's it. I don't need anything else for my birthday. Well, she heard me, but she wasn't listening. She got this for me. I have been wanting one of these for years, for years. But I said, that's just too extravagant. I can't afford something like that. Well, my sister got it for me. So I cannot wait to use it. I'm going to set it up and just sit back and just dream of all the micro dust, all of those dust mites being pulled out of the carpet. I cannot wait to use it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I am so happy. I haven't wanted one of those for ages. And I was satisfied with this, but I'm glad for that too. So that really worked out. Oh, Kiki baby. Well, happy birthday, Kiki baby. Well, I tell you what, let's dance our way out of here, shall we? Here goes. We'll do a little salsa on our way out. And remember, tomorrow is election day. Let's make it count. Let's make it count.